This is Yolanda Sawyer with another video blog for our future educators. I'm here today with Justin Jones. Can you tell us, Justin, a little bit of your background?
Well, I grew up and kind of always wanted to be a teacher and went to college originally for mechanical engineering and took a job with a biomedical company, worked there for 9 years and enjoyed what I did, but it just wasn't really what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I went back, got my teaching certification, and 2 years ago took a job teaching 4th and 5th grade science.
Okay. And can you tell me some of the challenges you face as an educator, as a new teacher especially?
Well, really just trying to figure out what you're doing. I mean, you have a lot, I was lucky to have a lot of support, but at the same time, it's very different than anything else that you ever do. I mean, you've got, with my last job, if I felt sick, I could stay home, or if I felt sick, I could come in and have a bad day. As a teacher, you can't do that. It has to be, 100% every day, because those kids are there. The kids are in the class, whether you feel good or not. They're expecting your best.
Okay.
And I think that's one of the big challenges. Another big challenge that I saw, when I was going back to school doing my student teaching that semester, I really thought that was going to be the hardest thing I ever did in my life until my first year of teaching. It really, it's not like other jobs in the sense also, you go in and work at school, but your day's not done. Most jobs you clock in, you clock out, you go home. But with teaching, I mean, it's really a 24-hour-a-day job. I mean, you wake up in the morning thinking about it, you go to bed at night thinking about it. So I think that's a bit of a challenge that I had to adapt to also.
Okay. And what are some of the successes you've had?
Well, I think my biggest thing that I can say that I'm really proud of is just seeing 4th and 5th graders that came in really with no background in science. The school I work for, we started, my first year was their first year of having dedicated science blocks for their students. Before that, it was always kind of the teach science when you can, which in most cases turned out to be not very often. So I saw students come in that didn't really know much about science. Their experience with science had been, hey, here's a science book, read it and answer some questions. And to get them in there, to get them doing hands-on activities, to really engage them in the material, let them experience what true science is, and to see kids that are excited about it. I mean, I see kids at my school and you ask them, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, I want to be an NFL player. It's great. I'm never going to tell anybody not to do what they don't want to do, but statistically speaking, it's probably good to have a backup plan. And now I see kids that are coming in, saying, hey, I want to be a veterinarian. I want to be a science teacher. One kid told me the other day. So I think just seeing how interested they are in science now after, in some cases 2 years, in some cases just 1 year with me, that's the real encouraging thing, and that's where it really feels like, yes, maybe some way, somehow I have done something to make a little bit of a difference. Now,
was your student teaching experience helpful? Do you think it prepared you for the classroom?
In my case, it did very well. I did the student teaching at the school that I'm teaching at currently, so it gave me a chance to get to know some of the kids, get to know some of the teachers. I did my student teaching in 2010, and then I continued working at the company I'd been with before until last year. So I took a couple years off between my student teaching and when I actually started my teaching job. And I think one thing that was important for me was finding the right job. I was fortunate enough that I had a job to go back to, but that let me not just necessarily take the first job that opened up, but wait to be where I really wanted to be, because I think that's one of the important things about teaching too. I mean, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, it's a lot of energy that you put into it, but if you're somewhere you enjoy being, it really, I tell people my real work happens at home when I go home and have science journals to grade and papers. The part at school is really the fun part. I mean, honestly, that almost feels like, we're just going in there and I don't want to say playing, that's a bad word choice, but it's a lot of fun.
Now, what do you wish you had learned in college?
Well, I'm not going to say so much wish I had learned as, you can have very good teachers in college and they can tell you about their experiences, and, you can read books on other people's experiences, but until you experience it, it's kind of like riding a bike. I can sit and read a bike all day, but until I go actually sit on a bike and ride it, then that's where I'm truly going to learn. Teaching's the same way. Until you get in that classroom yourself, I don't want to say that you don't know what you're getting into, but it's very different hearing about it and doing it.
So like on the job training.
Very much so. A lot of learning as I go. That's another key. You know, find the people at your school that are willing to and can help you, because there's going to be so many questions that you have, so many things that come up of, hey, I've never seen this before, I don't know what to do about it. Have those few people that you can go to that'll work with you and help you, and I guarantee you every school's got those people.
Now, how do you prepare lesson plans? Where do you get your resources from also?
Well, I've always been kind of the science nerd type person, so that's helped me a lot. Our school uses Discovery Education, which has a just wealth of videos and ideas, but really my approach to my lessons is more, you know, looking at what do the kids need to know at the end of the day, but also how can we do that in a fun way. I don't know, I mean, I would venture to guess that the majority of people watching this video probably didn't really care for school when they were in school and would rather have been other places. I was the same way, hated it. And I think my philosophy to teaching, especially in today's society, you're competing with kids going home, watching TV, playing Call of Duty, all the things that they do. If you can't compete with that, then you're not going to have their interest, you're not going to have their attention. So honestly, my philosophy with preparing a lesson is, how can I make this, number one, educational, but also how can I make it fun for the kids, and how can I make it fun for me? Because from what I've found, if I'm having fun, my students are having fun. You know, my approach to it really is, how do I wish that I had been taught this, and then let's see what we can do to make that happen in a fun way. And you know, with science especially, just so many opportunities for hands-on activities, demonstrations. So that's really my goal. I mean, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this to other people, but you know, at the end of the day, yes, our kids are going to be tested. Yes, they're going to be judged on that. Yes, we're going to be judged on that, and our school's going to be judged on that. But at the end of the day, if all we've done is got good test scores, we've failed our students. Our goal as educators should be to spark an interest in them that's going to continue on for their life. I would much rather hear, hey, this student that you had in 5th grade science has gone on to be a doctor and found a cure for cancer. That means a lot more than this student made a 4 on their EOG or a 5 on their EOG.
I agree. Now, how do you handle behavior problems? Do you come across a lot of behavior problems?
Well, speaking of things I wish I'd spent more time teaching us in school,
Okay.
that's one of those things, it's so situational because every kid's different. The best, most effective way to handle them is to avoid them, and I think by the more you can engage the kids and the more they're interested in what they're doing, then the less time they're going to have to misbehave. I guess one benefit of teaching science, I've been fortunate because, hey, you know, okay, well, if you can't follow expectations, you can come over here and do me a writing assignment while we do this lab activity, and after once or twice of that, kids want to behave because they want to participate in the fun activities. And I think, you know, just having things there for them that they enjoy, that they get to participate in when they follow your expectations, that's going to lead to the vast majority of students doing what's expected in your class.
Now, what advice, and this is the last question,
Okay.
but what advice would you give to a new teacher or student teacher preparing to enter into the profession?
Well, 2 things, I think. The first thing, I would say to anybody that's considering being a teacher is really think long and hard about why do you want to be a teacher. You know, I don't think too many people do it for the money. Don't think they do it for the fame and fortune. But, you know, it has to be what you want to do and who you want to be. You know, if you want to change the world, go be a politician. But if you want to change a life, be a teacher, because, you know, you're in there every day with those students. You have a chance to, you know, really shape them. I mean, they see more of me than they see of their family. I see more of them than I see of my family. I mean, you know, not only are they learning from me, I'm learning from them. And you know, at the end of the day, maybe you don't help every kid. But, you know, if you can help a few, and those few can go on to do great things in life, you know, that makes it worth it. And I think that's got to be your motivation. Your motivation has to be to it has to be the kids. I mean, you can't do it for yourself. If you do, I don't see how you can make it in this profession. And I think the other thing that I would advise, and I mentioned it earlier, make it fun. Don't focus on the stuff. Focus on the kids, focus on your class, focus on what's going on to get these kids excited about learning. There's a lot of things, hey, I've got to do this paperwork. Hey, I've got to get progress reports ready. Hey, it's report card time. Hey, test day. But at the end of the day, that's all that extra stuff. Focus on the kids. Focus on giving them experiences that they're going to remember, that they're going to carry on through their life. I can think of so many things in my science class that have happened. Sometimes things I meant to happen. Sometimes things we didn't mean to happen. Sometimes it's things where you just say, hey, we're going to take a break today and we're going to do some fun science activities. And sometimes kids get more from that than they could get in, any lesson you'd ever teach. And, just letting them see that you want them to succeed, letting them see you care. I mean, I've made the call, I'll go out there sometimes during the PE class, just throw the football around with them. And I guess I'm getting to that age now where you wake up the next morning and wish you hadn't. But at the same time, I honestly believe there's a lot of kids that 30 minutes throwing the football is going to have a lot more impact on them than 30 hours of you talking about science. And that's the thing, just letting the kids know that you care and truly caring. You can't fake that. Kids aren't dumb. They can tell if it's, if you're putting on or if you really care. And, I think if you really care about their education, if you really care about them being successful in life, I think that's the number one quality you need to be a successful teacher.
Well, we appreciate you, Justin Jones, for sharing your expertise and your knowledge and especially your passion about the profession.
Is that okay?